Ladies and gentlemen, won't you please join us on our cinematic journey as we watch the spectacular and the craptacular. Welcome to Movies with the Man.
I'm Murray.
I'm Justin.
And this week we are watching Prime Cut. I forgot to write down what year, but who cares? 1972? Okay.
Yeah, the 1972 crime thriller. Directed by Michael Ritchie. Seemed to be a pretty prolific director through the 70s and 80s. Famous for directing Bad News Bears, The Candidate, Fletch, and Fletch 2. Wildcats.
Wow, what a varying degree of quality right there. Because the Fletch 2 is like, I love Fletch. I actually, nobody likes Fletch 2. There are moments in Fletch 2 that I like. Like, I like when he comes home and his house is on fire, and he says, I came home to put my feet up by a fire that's roasting in the fireplace and on the walls and on the roof or whatever he says. And then I like the other part where the black dude is acting like he's still a slave, and he asks him, he goes, ain't you ever heard of the Emancipation Proclamation? And he goes, yeah, it wasn't too popular around these parts.
He also directed Golden Child.
Ooh.
I know, right?
I like that movie.
And my personal favorite, he directed Diggstown.
I've never seen Diggstown.
Oh, it's so good. It is awesome. Mainly known as a sports movie director. It's his specialty.
Because of the high caliber movies like Bad News Bears.
Right, exactly. Well, very, very.
Are we talking the what's his name? Walter Matthau, Bad News Bears?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, not quite as good as Ron Shelton, but pretty good sports movie director. And then our actors in this feature stars Lee Marvin. He plays Nick Devlin, famous for many, many movies in The Dirty Dozen, Cat Ballou, The Delta Force, Paint Your Wagon, Point Blank.
Delta Force with Chuck Norris?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think that was his
I was like, he was in that, right? I'm thinking of the right movie, right?
I think it was his last movie. Starred with John Wayne and Jimmy Stewart and The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. And then Gene Hackman plays Mary Ann in this movie. Also, very famous actor.
And Hole.
Yes, oh yes. Infamous Hole. Starred in The French Connection, Unforgiven, Mississippi Burning.
That dude's been in some bangers.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Hoosiers, The Conversation, Crimson Tide. And
he honestly, like, when you name all those movies, I'm like, man, Gene Hackman might be one of the most underappreciated, really good actors.
Oh yeah,
because like that's one of the things I even said about this movie. I told you the other day is like the one thing I loved about this movie is Gene Hackman can play just a douchebag really well,
and he nails it in this one.
Maybe he was just being himself.
And then third lead in this movie is Angel Tompkins. I had never heard of her. She plays Clarabelle. Most famous movie I saw that she was in was a movie called Alligator from 1980.
That's a hell of a movie.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll be honest, could be a Movies with the Man movie.
It's a special Movies with the Man movie. Also in the movie called The Teacher, which I'd never seen, but it was listed highly in her IMDb.
I never even heard of that one.
And then she was in Walking Tall Part 2.
I love how you name Alligator, and I'm like, yep, seen it. And then you're like, Diggstown, acclaimed movie, never seen it.
You should watch Diggstown. It is terrific.
I'd watch it tonight, but instead I've got to watch How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days with my wife. So that's what I'm doing this evening.
Is this a payment for her watching
It actually
Death
is. Yes. Yeah, because I made her watch Death Drug, which you folks will find out about later.
Yes. And then Gregory Walcott plays Weenie in the movie.
I had to rewind the movie numerous times to figure out where they say his name, because I was like, what is this dude's name really Weenie? Because am I looking up the right guy?
And I was like, yep. It's all we get for his name.
Yeah, never mind. Just go ahead, because I'll talk about that later.
Well, his was the most interesting IMDb I read. He was the star of Plan 9 from Outer Space.
That's a hell of a movie to be in.
He was also in Ed Wood. He just had a small part in Ed Wood.
That's awesome that they put him in Ed Wood. Yeah.
He also starred in Thunderbolt and Lightfoot, The Eiger Sanction, Every Which Way But Loose, and Joe Kidd. All Clint Eastwood movies. Apparently, he was in Clint Eastwood's acting troupe of buddies at one point. In the 70s, he played a foil to Eastwood's character. And Eastwood would usually pummel this guy by the end of the movie. You know
what's wild to me about that is like how many people who are like that were born, I would say late 90s to the 2000s that have no idea the pull and power that Clint Eastwood has had throughout his career.
Oh, yeah.
It's like you mentioned Clint Eastwood, and to them he's some old Hollywood guy, and it's like, no, he was the man at one point.
Oh, yes. The Dirty Harry movies were very popular in my house growing up.
My house too.
Yeah.
The Deadpool, I remember when that came out, my mom was like renting it the day it was available.
And let me see. We have Sissy Spacek. She plays Poppy in the movie.
First appearance.
Yes, for her first acting role in a movie. Famous for appearing in JFK, Missing, Coal Miner's Daughter, Carrie, and Badlands, among others. And then last one I'm going to list here is Eddie Egan. He plays Jake. He's the Chicago mob hit, the head of the mob in Chicago. Eddie Egan was a former cop, and his character, or his real life persona, is in the movie The French Connection as Popeye Doyle. And he also was in The French Connection.
I'm gonna make a real big confession here that I feel ashamed of.
What's that?
And I The French Connection is a movie that everyone tells me to see.
You haven't seen it?
And I haven't, but I hear it's awesome.
It's really good. Terrific chase.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. Like, if people went through my movies over there, don't get me wrong. There's a wall of critically acclaimed movies over there, but I'm gonna be honest. It's a sea of poo, and like, I'm looking over there, and I mean, I wouldn't call this movie crap, but I mean, let's be real. Compared to The French Connection, juice,
Hey, I love juice.
So do I, but it's no French Connection, from what I'm told. I want to talk about something about this movie.
Before we
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I want to make note that in this movie are 3 Oscar winners. Totaling 4 acting Oscar wins.
Okay.
Can you name them?
Gene Hackman.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. See, does Sissy Spacek have an Oscar?
Yes.
Okay. What'd she have an Oscar for?
She won Best Actress for Coal Miner's Daughter.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Hackman won 2 Oscars: Best Supporting Actor for Unforgiven.
I knew that.
And Best Actor for The French Connection.
See, I did not know that.
And can you name the last one?
No.
Lee Marvin.
Lee Marvin has an Oscar?
He did. He won Best Actor for
Delta Force?
For Cat Ballou, the Western.
Dude,
the stars Jane Fonda.
I would love the idea of a Chuck Norris movie went up for an Oscar. That would be the best thing ever. I mean, like, I got to Google, did Chuck Norris movies ever get any nominations for anything, even a Razzie?
And I have to admit, I've never seen Cat Ballou.
Well, I'll have you know, I have. Of all the movies that I haven't seen. No, I'm just kidding. I haven't seen that movie either.
But, I like Lee Marvin. He seems to be very one note. He plays Lee Marvin in every movie.
I have not seen a lot of Lee Marvin movies, and I will say the 2 that I can name that I have seen are this one and Delta Force, and I haven't seen Delta Force since I was a kid, so I could have told you just from watching this one movie that I have a feeling that Lee Marvin doesn't know how to act, because he did not seem like he was acting. He seemed like somebody who had just memorized his lines and was just spitting them out through the whole movie. Like, he was just, somebody told him, hey, act like you're kind of miffed, like, at all times.
Yeah.
And then that's about it.
Now he does, how do I say this? He has a coolness about him that, in his persona, but yeah, he's not a technically.
He never genuinely loses his cool. He stays in control at all times, and that's kind of the persona they were going for with this character.
I was just gonna say that's kind of how he is in most of his movies.
Really?
So yeah.
So I want to talk about this movie. What did you give this movie?
Out of 5, I would give it 1.5.
I gave it a 2, and I gave it a 2 because there were some moments that I found to be hilarious, such as the Combine chase. Actually, that whole scene where they're running through the fairgrounds at the Jayhawker Festival, which I thought was amusing.
Well, we'll talk about it, yeah.
But the scores for this movie. This movie is a pile of crap, and this movie is loved. First off, just watch. Metacritic and Google have no scores for this movie. But Rotten Tomatoes, critics, 71. Surprised me. The audience really surprised me with a 72. IMDb, 6.7. Letterboxd is a 3.5, which blew me away. And then Amazon, out of 5, is a 4.5.
Amazon, I've noticed, seems to trend a little bit higher.
They do. And Roger Ebert gave it a 3 out of 4.
He liked it. This would have definitely
Why?
been
What is there to like? This movie is boring.
And I find it nasty in not a good way. I mean, kind of a vicious, nasty sort of, just not a very pleasant movie.
No, not at all. I think like one thing that they did really well is like I was like, yes, kill Marianne, which is Gene Hackman's character, which I'd also like to talk about. Who in the hell names a kid who's a dude Marianne? I was like, is that a normal thing back then?
I have a theory. I have no way to prove it's true or not, but I'm guessing his name is Marion. But it
maybe like I have a feeling his name isn't Marianne, and that's because the dude's name wasn't Weenie. Right. I mean, there's no way. I want to give you the description of this movie. A vicious Kansas City slaughterhouse owner and his hick family are having a bloody beef, in quotations, with the Chicago crime syndicate over profits from their joint illegal operations. Top enforcer Nick Devlin is sent to straighten things out. I just enjoyed that they flat out called them a hick family and that they used the beef pun. So
yes.
I found it amusing. I will say this. It's probably one of the best descriptions of a movie in terms of like pretty much narrowing it down to what it actually is. That's really the whole plot. Gene Hackman's character owes them money because he's been skimming off the top, and they sent somebody down there to collect.
Yeah.
And then they get into a beef over it.
Waka, waka, waka. The jokes, they write themselves.
Yeah.
I don't like that we're made to feel the Chicago mob is made to be the good guys in this.
Yeah.
And I got to point out, their problem isn't that Marion is trafficking in drugs and women. The problem is they're not getting their cut of it.
Yeah, they're mad about the money. And really, when you think about it, it's like they're supposed to make like, okay, well, Nick saves one of the girls, which is Sissy Spacek's character, Poppy, and he goes in there and just takes her.
Right.
On account is what they keep saying. Like it's on the house.
Like I was thinking like on credit. I did like that when the accountant, Marion's accountant, was going
on account of what?
Yeah, exactly.
I did enjoy that whole scene. After they're counting up all the money they've made from selling women, there's a scene where Gene Hackman and his brother Weenie get into a fight with each other, and it's not like a real fight. It's like two brothers wrestling with each other kind of fight, but still trying to hurt each other. Right. I found it amusing because it just, for a minute there, I was like, I think Gene Hackman might be really mad right now because he looks like he's actually trying to like stretch that dude's head off of his shoulders. But we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yes.
I mean, we're not going to walk through the whole movie. I kind of just want to talk about favorite scenes in the movie, which would be like, I've only seen 2 movies ever where they're auctioning off women. One of them was Taken, and this movie. And Nick shows up to the farm that Marianne is auctioning his women off. There's these pig pens, and they just got drugged out women naked laying in them.
They have it set up as a livestock auction.
Yes.
But it's women in the pen.
It is.
With hay.
It's so wild to me because I started wondering, did this ever really happen to real women? Because
I certainly hope not.
It's downright disturbing. Like when you say this movie's nasty, it's like everything about it just seems kind of like horrific. That's horrific. Even the food that Marianne was eating looked gross. Like it was horrific looking.
Oh, yeah.
Which it was hard for me to look at meat because, folks, let me tell you how the beginning of this movie is. It starts off showing the slaughterhouse that Marianne is working at, and Weenie ends up telling a guy, hey, I'll take over, as this cow's coming through, who all you can see is there's a dead dude's butt hanging off this cow, so they have him draped over the cow. They run the dead dude through the meat grinder that the cows go through, and then the guy times it just right so he knows which hot dogs coming out of the machine are human, which I'm going to just go out on a limb and say impossible because all of the hot dog meat was mixing together with all the other meat. So that means that factory was packing human remains in somebody's hot dogs. Oh my God.
Yes.
That is disgusting.
And they look
nasty.
They look disgusting.
Like when they showed them to Nick, they were covered in like grass and dirt or something. Like, why is all the meat in this movie look so gross? And then the scene that at the auction, Gene Hackman's just eating it like it's nothing. And he goes, oh, you like to eat guts.
Yeah. Marianne's character has a plate of chitlins, I assume.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah, and he is just going to town.
Which I'm just going to point out, I've eaten chitlins before, and I do not remember them looking that gross. I was not a fan of them.
And his plate looks disgusting. I mean, it looks like a pile of slop, and he is just eating it up. And Lee Marvin's character, Nick, is like, oh, you like guts, huh? He's like, yeah, I like it. And he just keeps eating, and he starts winking at Nick, and that's probably my favorite scene, because Gene Hackman's really just hamming it up for the camera.
Nick is a jerk to him, and he tells him we need to talk. And then when they're talking, Gene Hackman starts telling him how he doesn't care about Chicago no more because the blacks, and as he put it, I'm going to use a harsh word, have taken over or whatever. And then and what I loved about this scene is he asked Nick, do you speak that language? And Nick goes, see. Wow.
Yeah. Marianne's big complaint is the Chicago mob has become weak and is dying, and so he's just going off on his own, and he's not going to send profits back up to Chicago anymore. One
of the other things I enjoyed about this scene too is when Weenie shows back up. Is earlier in the movie, Nick went to see Weenie and then stepped on his hand like real hard. So when Weenie shows up, he asks him. He goes, "Does your thumb still hurt?" And he's like, "What?" And he says, "Well, if it still hurts, maybe you should suck on it." Then when they're leaving, Weenie's angry, and this is what I enjoyed: is Weenie takes a pitchfork and throws it at the car. Yeah, nails it.
Yeah, and it sticks in the side of the Cadillac that they're in, and they end up driving by a fence and knocking it off. But yeah, that's it.
So
Weenie's got the best/worst facial expressions. His chin is grinding, and he's like all the time, and he looks like a maniac.
It's probably because his name is Weenie. He's just the whole time he's sitting there thinking. He's like, man, I love my life, and then he has a flashback to, my name is Weenie.
I guess I better go make some hot dogs.
Yeah, and he was carrying hot dogs everywhere with him, which later on a hot dog will be the death of him.
Yeah,
in a scene that makes zero sense.
Yes, we have to mention that he is carrying hot dogs with him all the time, and he doesn't make any sense at all, and plays a part in the end.
Do you have any particular scenes that you want to point out? Because the next one I want to point out is when they go to eat at the restaurant, which is, to me, ridiculous.
Yes, we have to mention that at this auction, quote, Sissy Spacek is one of the women, and her name's Poppy, and she begs Nick for help, and he
takes her.
Yeah, he feels bad for her, so he grabs her and he takes her with him.
And in his defense, he's good to her. Yeah, he takes care of her. He doesn't take her back to the hotel and have his way with her or any of that kind of stuff. He takes her back, buys her clothes, takes her to dinner, and this dinner, she wears a sheer dress with nothing underneath it, because that's what people do. Everybody at the restaurant is just staring at her, and Nick has to stare them all down to show that, don't you be staring at my woman or whatever. Which, by the way, at one point, Poppy, after only knowing Nick for a day, at the next day they go to the fair, she says, I love him. You have known him for less than 24 hours. 1. 2, how old is Sissy Spacek in this movie? Because Nick is
18 max,
and Nick is what, 50?
Yeah, he's in his 50s.
50 plus. Yeah,
but she sees him as her savior, so I guess that's maybe where the
I mean, yeah, I get that part of it. Maybe she loves him as he's saved me, so I owe him whatever, because I never really felt it was a romantic relationship.
It is not, and it's never even hinted at. And interesting movie fact about this: the actor Lee Marvin and the director, Michael Ritchie, got into a big feud over the fact that there were supposed to be sex scenes between Lee Marvin and Sissy Spacek.
And who disagreed to that?
Lee Marvin wouldn't do it.
Because he was too old? Or
Right, yeah. He didn't. It said in what I found on the internet that he didn't want to disrespect her by being in a sex scene with her.
That's amazing. To hear that in Hollywood in that era.
Very admirable and progressive.
Yeah, that's mind-blowing because,
coming from Lee Marvin, a guy I would never have guessed would be
Marlon Brando would have been like, oh, we're doing this.
Yeah.
As long as I want. The women who don't get auctioned off are left to sleep in the greenhouse.
Yeah, very strange.
Which I thought was weird. It's like, why are they all just sleeping in the grass at the greenhouse? I thought that was weird. And I want to talk about where they meet at the Jayhawker Festival. And
the fair, Jayhawker Fair.
Yeah, the Jayhawker Fair. Excuse me. It's not the Jayhawker Festival. It was the Jayhawk Festival when I went to it. That's why I keep calling it that.
Well, it's very interesting. They don't specify if it's a county fair or not. But if you notice, there's a marching band. They have Lawrence High.
I saw that.
Lions uniforms on. So
it's the state fair, maybe,
or a county fair, the Douglas County Fair.
I guess, because I don't know where they're at exactly in the movie, so that's why I would.
Lawrence High. You're guessing it's between Kansas City and Lawrence.
I'm sure they were nowhere near any of the places that they say they are in this movie.
Right. It's interesting. The city scenes are filmed in Chicago and Kansas City.
Are they really?
The rural scenes, which one thing I want to say, the rural scenes of rural Kansas, the shots are beautiful. I mean, you got the waving wheat, filmed in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Which the Kansas scenes in Superman the movie were filmed same place. So apparently...
Calgary looks more like Kansas than we do.
Exactly.
I'm going to be honest. I drive through Kansas because I live here all the time. It doesn't look that great. Mm-hmm. There are places that it does look great, but I guess it depends on when you're filming and all that. It also probably depends on how much of a tax cut you're getting. And, and Canada gives great tax cuts from what I hear.
I'm guessing they wanted shots of wheat fields, Kansas wheat fields, but you're not going to get those in eastern Kansas. That's going to be central and western Kansas. So.
Some geography for you folks. So I felt like Nick and Marianne, almost every single conversation they had, including at this fair, is just a measuring contest. Like every one of them was like, well, how big's your penis? Well, how big is yours? I mean, it literally is, because at one point he says, why don't we ask Clarabelle?
Marianne says, let's just do it, Nick. You pull down your pants, I'll pull down mine. We'll see who's bigger. And Lee Marvin goes, well, why don't we ask Clarabelle?
And that's why I feel like every conversation is like that. Yeah. They just made that one a literal measuring contest, but the rest of them are all posturing. That's all it is through this whole movie. That's why I say this movie is boring, because it goes nowhere. Mm-hmm. Even at this fair, the whole like build up to where they end up chasing Nick through the fair with a shotgun, and how, first off, somebody shoots the shotgun in the middle of this fair, and everybody just goes, oh, what was that? And nobody runs. Everybody just stands there like, no big deal. I'm going to tell you something. I don't care if you're trying to be like, it's Hick, Kansas or whatever. Everybody's running the second that shotgun goes off. People are scared out of their minds. It's just not happening.
Do you remember they shoot the shotgun and it hits the
cow,
the fake cow that's holding all
the prize milk
cow. Yeah. And the lady's just like, that's not right.
Yeah. She goes, that's so unfair. Yeah. They chase Nick out of this, and there's like a shooting contest going on. And when they chase Nick, he runs in front of a crowd and runs to where these kids standing. But what I don't understand is that all the guys at the shooting range are also Marianne's bad guys, because they all chase after him too. How did they know they're supposed to go after that dude? I have no idea how anybody knows anything, because from here, they chase him through a forest, a little wooded area. And then he runs out into a field and hides in the field.
Yeah, wheat field.
And those guys go, oh, he must be in the woods still. So they go back to the woods looking for him. So they think they're safe and start walking off. And then somehow the guy driving the combine in the wheat field knows that they got to kill Nick too.
Right.
And what ensues is what I believe to be the most impossible combine chase I've ever seen in my life. Because I've seen people drive combines, and unless those damn things have zero turn radius, like abilities on them from that era, I refuse to believe that they couldn't just get out of the way.
Right. These combines do not turn on a dime, but this one does.
Turns on a dime, and then how they stop it is that his driver sees that he's being chased by the combine and drives the car straight into the combine, then gets out and shoots the guy driving the combine.
And then the combine commences to
eat the car,
chew up the car.
No, that's not happening. I mean, it's not a rabbit where it might chew that up, or something soft tissued or whatever. I was just like, this isn't happening. And then they show the combine spitting out the engine parts of the car and stuff like that.
It's the single dumbest scene of the movie.
I enjoyed it greatly because it's just so ridiculous.
After that, they escape and they go back to Kansas City. That's where Lee Marvin goes and has a conversation with Clarabelle, Marianne's, I don't think they're married, but his significant other.
No, I don't think they're married either.
And that's where you find out that maybe Clarabelle is behind all this.
Yeah, she seemed like she was pushing. She made it sound like she was milking Gene Hackman's character, Marianne, for everything that he is and pushing him to do more and more. And then she made it sound like she was going to drop him.
She's willing to ditch Marianne right there and hook up with Nick. but he isn't having it. And they're on a houseboat. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah.
And then
Houseboats.
Nick jumps off the boat and unmoors it and sends it floating down the Missouri River. And
she has no clue how to stop this
Right.
problem from happening.
So as far as I know, Clarabelle is still floating down the river.
Yeah, to this very day. Dead on her boat.
That's right.
She made it to the ocean. She's out in the sea. I guess let's get to the climax of this movie because it is ridiculous.
Nick gets back to the hotel where his guys have been attacked. One of them's dead, and they've kidnapped Poppy. And the remaining Chicago crew gathers themselves, and they're going after one last attack on Marianne's crew.
When they're driving there, Lee Marvin has this fancy case with this ridiculous setup for his gun. He's getting it out. He's getting his guns ready. He's taping his clips together so he can just flip them around. Which, by the way, each clip that he had, I don't know if you noticed, had like at least 1,000 bullets in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like he just shot forever with one clip. And so as they're driving, one of his thugs that's with him is like, they're going to be ready. They're going to be waiting for us. And he's like, yep. And he's like, and it's going to be bad, blah, blah, blah. He's saying whatever. Like, and then he looks like he's going to throw up. Like, he's so nervous. And then Nick is just like, yeah, that's what it's going to be like.
Mm-hmm.
Like, basically saying, like, we might die. And they get there, and you would think with a sunflower field being there that they would crouch down and sneak right in. No, they walk straight up right to Marianne's. And, of course, Marianne's guys, no problem, see them coming.
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
Okay, though, because all of Marianne's men are only armed with shotguns.
Yeah, that's the other thing, too, that I thought was dumb. They're like 50 to 100 yards away, and they're like, I'm going to shoot this guy with a shotgun. I'm like, he's not a clay pigeon. He's not going to die.
And that's the thing. They keep shooting at with shotguns. They never get close enough, and Nick just keeps killing them with the submachine
But they also
gun.
keep standing up,
Yes,
allowing them to shoot them.
Yeah.
Like, that's what the other part was. You couldn't just kind of crouch up a little bit and shoot. I mean, what is going on?
You get the impression no one is very good at their jobs.
So after Nick's driver gets shot, his other thug guy gets shot, and he takes out all the other guys. There's this semi coming down the road, and he jumps up on the semi and takes the guy kind of hostage, then takes over the truck, and then drives it through the gate and drives through the greenhouse, which the first thing I thought was, good thing all the women weren't in the greenhouse,
Right.
because he would have just killed all of them. And I have to question, was this supposed to happen? When Nick gets out of the truck, a piece of tile falls from the ceiling and smashes right on his head.
Yeah, that looked like that may have not been planned.
Yeah,
but
Nick,
they liked it and kept it in
Yeah,
the
but
movie.
Marvin went right along, just kept on going. Like, he didn't break character or anything. It seemed so natural that I was like, wow, that was really well done if it was on purpose.
I've never seen a case of such a strong case of plot armor on a character, because everyone is dying around Nick and he is just untouched.
And he has the most amazing aim ever, because later on, because mind you, he's got a machine gun and there's a guy standing in front of a cow and he shoots the guy with like 400 bullets, doesn't hit the cow.
So we get to the finale.
And here's where I'm confused. Marianne gets shot and falls from the
Marianne, Weenie, and Poppy are up in the rafters of this barn.
Yeah, and Marianne gets shot and falls down. And Weenie is holding Poppy with a knife.
Mm-hmm.
Nick eventually makes his way up to the top too. And here's what I don't understand is Weenie throws Poppy down, runs at Nick, and
Nick
then
shoots him.
and then goes to
But Weenie gets to Nick, he has him.
Yeah, and he reaches in his pocket to pull out his knife. And then when he goes to do it, his knife, he accidentally grabbed a hot dog instead of a knife and tries stabbing Nick with the hot dog. Here's why this makes no sense to me. Weenie had a knife in his hand already. Where did the knife go?
I don't know.
Because I rewound it like 20 times trying to see, did he throw the knife down? Why would he do that? Why did he reach in his pocket for a second knife? He had a knife in his hands.
It makes zero sense.
I am correct that I didn't miss something or like...
He loses a knife somewhere between
Running at
dropping
Nick.
Poppy down
Yeah.
and getting to Lee Marvin. He loses the knife. You don't see it.
Yeah,
It's
that's why it confused me, because I was like, I was like, why does he have a hot dog in his hand? He had a knife.
It's just so dumb. The recurring theme of Weenie grabbing a hot dog and attacking Nick with a hot dog.
I did enjoy.
So dumb.
I did enjoy that they felt they had to emphasize the hot dog by when Weenie fell off the top. It zoomed in. It was like, dun, dun.
Yeah, close up of the hot dog.
Yeah. Instinct. It was so ridiculous. And then everything's over and all ends well. And then Nick takes Poppy back to the Poppy came from an adoption, like a orphanage.
They call it an orphanage. It's not an orphanage. They're raising these girls
to be sex slaves, basically. And the woman's selling them off to Marianne. And
what I find funny is they go in and they knock out the lady running the
orphanage.
All the kids run out and they're just running wild. They're running into the field and they're gone.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Where are they going?
Yeah, exactly.
Who's gonna take care of them? I'm like, Nick, you've got to drive them somewhere to, like, I don't know, the police. You know, I'm like,
he's freedom. His job is done.
And like right now, there's a savage clan of young girls. Well, they'll be old girls now, living in Western Kansas, or is it Eastern Kansas?
Eastern Kansas, but I think the orphanage is in Missouri. So
okay. So they're
Western Missouri.
They're in Missouri. Oh,
they're just scattered everywhere.
If they're in Missouri, they were probably eaten by some of the hillbillies down there. That's us Kansas folks acting like we're better than Missouri folks. We're not. Trust me.
So that's the end of Prime Cut, and it's kind of infuriating. I did not like this movie. This movie should have been right in my wheelhouse, and I disliked it very much.
I was expecting so much more from it, and I was disappointed. I was like, thanks, Justin. You gave me another barn burner. I'm like, man, after a 2-minute warning, I was like, you can't keep doing this to me.
I like to review the most boring movies.
Yeah, but you know what? We got a lot to say about even the crap of the crap.
Yeah, that's right. So that's Prime Cut. Not my best choice, but, you know, I'm sure there'll be worse ones along the way.
Yeah, so folks, if you listen to this and still haven't seen the movie, don't. Just don't.
Or do.
Or do, and then
get mad at me.
And then message us and tell us like how much you hate us or how much you love something from the movie. I don't know.
Yeah, so write us and explain to us why we're wrong and you love this movie.
Yeah, please. I would love to hear why this movie's good.
Because a lot of people believe it's good.
Thanks for listening, folks. Catch us on the next one.
Yep, bye.
We hope you enjoyed the show, but it's time for us to go.